But as somebody who studied the industry that seeks to manipulate all of us on behalf of paid interests, I know that few themes arise in our environment organically. A noted propagandist told me, "It's like a movie," he said, and it gave me chills at the time. Nearly every scene or image that crosses our path in daily life, he said, was put there for a reason, often by someone who paid a lot of money to place it there. When connecting the dots, I find it often helps to follow the money.
All right, folks, today the question is, how is the media destroying the left? And hold on, I know a lot of you, especially on the right, won't agree with the premise that the media is destroying the left because, well, obviously to those of us on the right and those that are libertarians, the media has been patently out to destroy the right and the libertarians for decades. Okay, but I'm going to show you why I'm positive the media, I'm just certain of it, that the media is out to destroy the left as well. So if I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm counting on you guys to help me figure out how I'm going wrong here. Anyway, so let's follow Miss Atkinson's lead here and connect the dots and follow the money. Now, as she alluded to, and she has concluded in, I believe it was her book, The Smear, that the mainstream media basically follows marching orders and creates narratives rather than, basically report facts. So the questions are, who gives the mainstream media its marching orders, and where does the money lead us?
0, 6, 5.
So if you go on to StockZoa and look up Time Warner, and Warner is the entity that owns CNN, you'll see a list of the stockholders. Well, what I'm showing you here is Renaissance Technologies, and it's just one of the funds that owns CNN, and it in turn is owned by hundreds of funds and corporate entities. This is a huge spaghetti monster. This is the stuff that you find. Now, it can be quite hard to find out who the individuals are that own CNN, how much each individual out there owns stock. But it's basically the people that manage these funds and corporations that have the say. Let's be honest. Say you have a great big 401k and you got 7,000 in Time Warner stock. Well, you ain't the one CNN is going to be listening to when there's a news story you don't like. They're going to be listening to these fund managers and corporate owners. So according to CNN and other sources, the richest man in Saudi Arabia, at least back in 2014, has, quote, high-profile stakes in media companies, including Time Warner, who owns CNN, News Corp, who owns Fox News, and he also had a $300 million stake in Twitter back in 2014. So, look, I'm not saying that rich stockholders like the prince here are always directly involved in shenanigans like, say, just for example, the censorship of Alex Jones. This is all hypothetical, okay? But you can imagine that if something bad, if you had something bad to say about Islam, well, if Islam had a significant ownership in your company and you wanted to use that company to say something bad about Islam, well, geez, you're going to have a hard time getting that through the hierarchy of it, It's like Cheryl Atkinson says, the stories you see are put before the public for a reason. And in some cases, actions that are taken by the media are done so for a reason. It's true for CNN, it's true for MSNBC, it's true for Fox. Now, the influencers may be a bit different from one mainstream media outlet to another, and individuals in the media, different hosts, news anchors or whatever, I'm sure they may have more or less freedom or free reign in their position. but there's always going to be significant constraints, powerful puppet masters behind the scenes, and they are the ones that are going to be determining what is picked for stories, what goes out on their channels, and how that stuff is framed. And, I don't know, it's not bad per se, because we now have alternate media, so can kind of get an idea of what the powerful wants you to think. The puppet masters, you can kind of read their intentions if you just kind of realize that what's going on with the mainstream media, and realize there's competing interests behind it. It's not just one rich guy. There's several filthy rich figureheads come into play here, and they're at each other's throats. So I would think that there's no monolithic voice there, but they do agree on a few things. So think of it this way. At CNN, Fox, Twitter, you got international businesses, international funds, international currency manipulators, and international super wealthy figureheads promoting their ideologies. Again, those things are in competitions to a degree behind the scenes, investing ungodly sorts of money to have control over the mainstream media. So that's going on. They aren't necessarily in lockstep, but in all of that, who does the voice of the people matter? Anyway, if you dig on the internet, you'll find reasonably credible sources that document that these big time players are at odds. Now, with respect to religion, I don't know. I don't think you have big time billionaire Christian figureheads promoting and defending Christianity like you do probably here with Islam. I mean, it looks to me like that's going on with Islam in the mainstream media. I mean, think about it on Twitter. If you can be nasty to white male Christians on Twitter and you don't get suspended, but if you are nasty or say something mean about Islam or critical of Islam on Twitter and you get suspended, then you might not have big-time white male Christian owners, figureheads, calling up the Twitter CEO, what's his name, Jack, whatever his name is, and reading him the riot act. Now, I'm not saying that this Saudi prince did this or this absolutely happened. I'm just speculating here. And I'm just saying that money that is focused into a figurehead on one side of a debate may have more influence than money that it has no figurehead that speaks for it. So, where the voice is diverse, the population, the general Joe, the general consensus of the people is just not going to have or may not have as much influence as these figureheads. That's my point. And that these figureheads aren't interested in countries. They're interested in their wealth and their ideologies. They're not interested in your nation. They're not interested in preserving your culture, your nation, or whatever. They're interested in promoting and defending their ideology at the expense of your culture and your nation. That's their interest. And they are happy to buy up the mainstream media and to promote and defend their ideologies, whatever they may be. That's my point. So I know what you're thinking now. You're thinking, Tom, what does this have to do with the topic at hand? How does this show the media is destroying the left? Well, the answer is this. This is my mom, and these are her parents. This is my wife's mom and a lot of her friends and a lot of her family. These people here, they are all on the left. They all love America, each and every one of them. None of them, not a single one of these people wants to live under communism, They don't want to live under socialism. Not a one. And each and every one of these people, just like millions of others on the left, are having their ideas and their good names ruined by the mainstream media. How so? Well, the mainstream media conflates these people that want a social safety net and they want some government regulation, well, especially when they don't have to deal with it, but otherwise they tend to support government oversight, generally more so than folks on the right. But the media, they conflate these people with these things here. These people have virtually nothing in common with each other, okay? Nothing. But the media presents this as the left. And I'm confident that the media's portrayal of the left will end up causing the left to completely collapse. I'm convinced of it. And the media is behind it. So the only question remaining then is why? Why does the mainstream media, why do their puppet masters, why do they want to destroy the left? Why? Maybe we'll figure that out next time. Thanks for watching and take care.